Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. So this week we are talking about rhythm in art, but we're also talking about Japanese art. So today we are going to draw our own koi fish. So for this you want a piece of paper, you want a pencil and an eraser, boop, boop. You want something to color in with, so I'm using colored pencils. And then around my koi fish, which is a very popular fish in Japan, I'm going to use watercolors, I think, to add in some kind of water splashing around it. We'll see. And as well, I have a skinny Sharpie to help me outline. I haven't fully decided whether I want to use it yet, but I'm going to set it aside just in case I do. But for right now, we are going to start out with our pencil and our paper. We're going to draw our koi fish, and then you'll be able to color it in however you would like. So to start out, towards the bottom of our paper, because we're going to draw our koi fish with the head down here and the tail up here. And I'm going to draw really lightly, because some of these we just need the shape, and then we're going to kind of change it around after. So I'm going to start out with a circle on the side of my paper, and this is going to be the head of our koi fish. Like I said, I'm drawing really lightly so I can go back and erase the lines I don't need. Now we're going to start to make the body of our koi fish, and we're going to draw two lines coming out from the side of our circle. So I'm going to draw mine kind of at an angle, flipping out a little bit like this, and I'm drawing really lightly. So I can go back and erase if I need to. So there's one side of our fish, and then for the other side of our fish, we're going to come out from the circle, kind of more towards the bottom. And we're going to follow that same shape that we started to make. And then I'm going to make it get a little bit thinner as I go in, because we want to turn it into the tail. And I'm going to make this line a little bit darker so you can see it better. So now we have the basics of our fish started. What we want to add now is we're going to add our tail on the end. To do this, I make two lines coming out, and then I like mine rounded a little bit. And then I come around to draw the rest of my tail. Like that. We're going to add some fins now so our fish can swim around. We want to add two to the back, kind of almost where it's twisting, and then two to the front. So there's my first fin. And then kind of towards the same area, but on the other side, there's my second fin. If you kind of want to play around with the shape of your fins, you can. I'm kind of making mine dip in a little bit just because I like how it looks. So now we need to add in our last two fins. We're going to have one kind of tucked in back here, and then our necks over here to the side. I'm going to make it come in a little bit. So now we have our fins. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually kind of change the shape of our face a little bit. We have it circular, but I want it a little bit more pointed on the end. So to do that, I'm going to bring a line coming out from right here so I can connect it a little more naturally. And then as well, I'm going to bring a line down from this area to connect it to. Like that. So it looks like more of a fish face. And I can go back and erase these lines I don't need on the inside anymore. So you can see kind of the shape I made. So I went straight, then I went straight, and then I kind of curved it just a little bit on the end just so it's not so pointy. You want to round it out on the end. So now we're going to add in some details. I'm going to add back in a line connecting these two so I can get kind of the face area like that. we want to add in a tail fin. So to do this, you're just going to draw a straight line going to the end, and I start mine close to right here. So we have that line, and now we're going to draw another line doing the same thing. I'm going to make mine wavy at the top. You can make yours straight, or you can make it wavy like I made mine. So now we have our fin. I think I might add a little divot right here, a little divot right there. Line down the middle of the face of our fish. And then because it's almost like he's turning to the side, you can add one eye kind of right here on the side because he's turning. And then our other eye will be back here. You can draw your fish's eyes like how you like to draw eyes. I like to draw a circle, and then I color in one side of my circle. And then I add 2 dots on the inside. We can go back and add some lines in to our fins. And then I think I'm going to give him some whiskers. And maybe I want his face a little bit rounder. Maybe that's too pointy for me. You can play around with the shape of yours too. And they also have some little whiskers. So if you want to add some whiskers on your fish, you can do that too. If you don't have to. So now we have the basic shape of our koi fish down. I'm going to go through and I'm going to press a little bit harder with my pencil and also erase all those lines I don't need so you guys can see kind of what we have going on. So I'm going to go through and press a little bit harder, and I think I'm going to as well add in some scales. So starting towards the front, I'm just going to add in this U shape, like this. And then I'm going to keep that shape going all the way around. So I'm going to go through and keep working on this. I think I might go over my lines with the Sharpie, especially because that'll make it to where you guys can see it better. I'm going to get my fish outlined, then we need to color it in, and then we're going to add some water splashes around it for our Japanese koi fish drawings. Okay, so you don't have to outline your koi fish in Sharpie. I did so it's easier for you guys to see it, but I also think it looks nice. If you don't have a Sharpie, you could use a pen, a black colored pencil, or you could just leave it as a pencil and color it in. The great thing about koi fish is that they're really colorful, and a lot of times they have splotches of different colors. Typically, they're a mix of like white, yellow, orange, black. So I think I'm going to make mine pretty traditional in the coloring. But if you wanted to make your koi fish a different color, I wouldn't mind. Normally, their face, their fins are all the same color, and then their scales are where you can get different patches of color. I'm going to be using the traditional colors. I think I'm going to use orange, black, white, maybe some yellow in there. Maybe I'll throw in some red too. So I'm going to get my koi fish colored in. How you choose, that's not black, that is like a green. How you choose to color in your koi fish is kind of up to you. And then we're going to finish with using my watercolors to try to add some splashes around them. I hope it goes good. Alright, so I have it all colored in. Now our last step. And you can see, before I finish that, you can see I did some patches. On the tail I layered some colors just to give it more detail. Colored pencils are great to layer. What you want to do now is you want to add some water around. So if you do not have colored pencils, or I'm losing my mind. If you do not have watercolors, you probably have the colored pencils. You can use just anything you use to color this to draw the water around and color it in. What you can do to create the water is by making a wavy line going around it like that, and coloring it in and adding in like even some splashes if you wanted to, like that, coming off, because it looks very boring with just a white background. So you can either color in some water or you can use watercolors like I'm going to do. I'm going to erase this pencil line because we do not need it. So what I'm going to do to hopefully give me some more control is I'm going to first take just some water, and I'm going to put water where I'm going to watercolor before I even start, because this will help the watercolors blend out easier. So I'm going to work in patches, so I just put down some water. You can't really see it on the camera, but you can kind of see it a little bit. And then I'm going to get some watercolors, and I'm going to put a lot of water in my watercolors, so then I can just start to touch it down like that. And because we put down that water before, it will start to spread out on its own, so I won't really need to move it that much. I'm going to go in and make for sure I got it right next to my fish, like that. And then I can start kind of tapping it out. I can take some more if I want to add in some splashes around, like that, to make it look more realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep painting around my fish. I'm going to show you again how I did that with putting down water first. So first I'm just taking some water and I'm going around my fish. And by putting down this water first, it helps the watercolors move around a lot easier. So I have it around the tail, dip it in here, tap it. So then I can start moving it around the way I want it to look. So I'm going to keep going with this and adding the water around my fish, and then we will look at it whenever it is all finished. Alright, so I am almost done. I've watercolored and added little splashes all around, and I was just going to show you guys the last part just so we can get another look if you want to use watercolors. So I'm using just water, and I'm carefully adding it around my koi fish that I drew. You can even see some of the blue starting to run in, and then sometimes I just like to kind of tap around the edge just so it kind of has like a wavy line instead of just a straight line. And then I dip it in my blue watercolor, and then I just start tapping it in so we can get that color on there, like that. And then I use my brush to kind of move it around where I want it to go carefully. It should be easier because we added in that water before. If I get it on my koi fish, I try to wipe it off real quick so it doesn't dry on there. And that, maybe I'll add some splashes like that. Go around, just kind of touching around the edges so I can get some texture. Alright, that is it. I'm excited to see how your koi fish come out. And I will see you guys all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I'll see you next time.